Okay, Cody.
Is this already on?
Oh, no, you need to. That's
Hey, Miss. Miss Suzette.
just a second. Do you know how to do it? Do you know what to do? Do you know how to turn it on?
I did push the big power button.
Okay, so you want to
What is it?
So it's
Seems to be rigid.
That's so much lady.
Russian. Yeah, each year.
What?
That's mine.
Oh,
That's from the book. Remember I read that book?
no, I did not remember.
Yeah, I'm redoing mine too, so.
Oh,
Did you really? I had no clue.
Yeah, I told you. You said, oh my gosh. You didn't say anything now. You said, oh my gosh. I worked very hard on it.
I'm sure you did.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if we're gonna ever do oral reports again.
Okay. So, I did my book on 50 Shades of Grey.
I had no idea.
Teacher did not know about it. So I did my book on 50 Shades of Grey, and it's written by E.L. James, a woman. Okay. You see, okay.
She said you said you didn't know you read that?
I didn't know that he was reading the book.
It's on, remember when we had to write down our books?
Yeah, you told me
I
that.
put it on.
I wrote it on there in big letters.
Okay, well, I guess it's my fault.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay, so why I chose this book. So originally,
now, why did you choose the book?
originally my
You
mother's.
knew what kind of book it was, Cody.
I didn't know anything
No,
about
he
it.
actually didn't. We had like a whole conversation about how he didn't.
Really?
Okay,
Yeah,
so
you was in the conversation.
Oh,
Can we let him do
Jeremiah,
the
quiet.
presentation?
okay, so originally this book was suggested by my mother, which made me question life's morals, because I did not know what it was about at all. So I was like, okay, yeah, what the heck, because I didn't know what book to do. So she suggested it. So when I asked people in the class, your class, I was
Yeah.
like, what is the book about? They said it was intent.
Did you ask Maya?
I asked just about
Yeah,
everyone
we
I could
talked
think of.
about it.
So they said it was an intense but good book. So
Good?
yeah,
Good is relative.
so I was like, okay, psychological thriller, action,
Is that what you thought?
Yeah, that's what I thought. And at the bottom, I've never heard of this book before, so I didn't know what I was getting myself into. So about the author, let's talk about the author first. E.L. James is a woman. I thought it was a man for some reason. But she is a new author. She started writing back in 2009, and her first book was 50 Shades of Grey. And her real name is Erica Leonard, and she has a husband named Niall Leonard, something like that. So that's about the author.
Just pronounce mine.
Niall, that's one thing I didn't say. Okay, now the characters. Anastasia Steele is the main character in the book. She is a tomboy. She's 22 years old, and she falls in love with the mysterious Mr. Grey. Christian Grey is a young billionaire entrepreneur who is supposedly a stud, because that's what
You don't have to elaborate.
Okay, so, and he has a dark, twisted secret. So Kate Kavanagh.
No, try it.
Kate Kavanagh.
See?
Good.
If you can read that book, you can pronounce that word.
Okay, so she is Anna's BFF, best friend forever, and she is also Anna's roommate. And from what Anna described, she
Okay,
is...
now listen. Next time. There'll never be a next time.
Okay.
If you use hot, shouldn't you put it in quotes? Because it has nothing to do with temperature.
I just thought everyone would know what hot would mean, so just think about that. So she is hot, confident, and assertive. She, doesn't take crap from anyone.
Well, let's
And
not use that word with this book.
So, Jose Rodriguez, she's Anna's guy friend, and basically he likes her, but she doesn't. He keeps getting friend-zoned by her, like, a lot throughout the book, and I kind of feel sorry for him. He gets friend-zoned so much, and he's also...
Why didn't he give up?
Huh?
Why didn't he give up then?
I don't know. Love makes you do crazy things. So, he's also Mexican, and he is a photographer.
What did that have to do with it?
And just name his race, that's all. It's
Okay.
only Mexican in the book. And then we have Paul Clayton he's not meant much in the book, but he's still there. He is a friend of Anna's, and he's always hitting on her as well, so Anna's just like this.
Okay, so if you have a character that's just there, who knows the fancy term?
Background person.
And it's called static.
Static person. And also, just like Jose, he gets friend zone, but Jose gets the worst friend zone usually. And then my first impressions while reading, so reading, like I said, I didn't know anything about it. So when I started reading it, I didn't know what it was about, really. So it basically starts off with Anna taking an interview for her friend who is sick, who can't do it, because her friend's a journalist, which is Kate Kavanaugh.
Kavanaugh.
So basically, what I was reading, from what I got, the main points are on the right, you know. After she interviews Mr. Gray, but she like automatically falls in love with him, just like that. Reminded me a lot about Twilight, which was this whole book reminded me of Twilight. So my next read is Twilight, but she basically,
Twilight?
huh? No, no. But I watched the movie, so.
That counts.
Yeah. So basically, she is immediate. So she gets nervous and she starts embarrassing herself at the interview. So things on the right, you know, and then so after she leaves the interview, she expects not to see him again, and plus she's embarrassed herself. Let's see. So basically, like I said, the things are on the order after that happens. So he stops by the hardware store, you know. She then asks him for a photo shoot for Kate's article. So then after the photo shoot, he invites her for coffee, and they talk, and then after they're done, she trips. And then he catches her, and then she expects to get a kiss, but she gets rejected. She cries, and then she wants to forget about Mr. Gray because she was so embarrassed. And so
Who graduates from college?
Anna.
Okay.
Yeah. So Anna graduates from college, and so she goes out drinking one night with her friends to celebrate, and she invites Jose. So, you know, while she's drunk, she drunk dials Mr. Gray, and he tracks her phone. So after he tracks her phone, and Jose gets friend zoned that night as well. So there's another one. He gets friend zoned major that night. It was crazy. But so he picks her up, and she passes out, and she wakes up in Christian's bed at his hotel that he's staying at. So she wakes up in.
Okay, so now do we have to go into all the details?
No, I'm just going to, like I said, first impressions. Got to give it first. Okay, so I'll skip. So they talk, and then finally he realized.
Condense.
Yeah, it's very condensed. So then after a while they talk, and then finally he admits that he likes her, but he says, no, you don't want to be with someone like me, blah, 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 blah. So then after that, so they get into the elevator, he escorts her, and they just have this giant makeout session in the elevator.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yes. So after that, they plan to hang the next day. So these are my first impressions, and not to offend anyone in here.
Well, let's not. Move on.
So my first impression of this book, I gotta skip the next slide not to offend anyone. So just okay. So but then page 13 happened. Page 115 happened. First sexual contact, and that is where I got interested into the book. So it happened on page 115, and the reason why I put that picture is because that is exactly where I was when I got to page 115. So it's the part that caught my attention, and it was.
Is it getting better or is it going to get
No,
better?
I'm getting through it. I'm trying to speed through it. So the pages. So it's 9 pages.
Do you realize this is not very appropriate for you?
Well, yes, I
Didn't you
doing
know
this
that
book. I
before?
didn't know about it. Okay, so
You get 3 minutes.
Okay, 3 more minutes. Okay, so we get past that. So most sexual thing I've ever read, and yeah,
Just
I was teaching
summarize.
about.
What's the point of that?
Well, this was just I looked up submissive and dominant, which is a whole part of the book, and I was going to teach the class, but I got 3 minutes, so can't teach you guys about submissive and dominant relationships.
Yes, you can. Define it.
Okay, so
What is
so basically, submissive and dominant goes on the BDSM type of sexual nature. It stands for bondage. Didn't write down the exact thing, but basically it's like things involving whips, leather, and all that. Punishment. So basically, the submissive one is the one who's obviously the one being punished, and for pleasure, and the dominant is the one who owns the submissive. So usually they end up signing like a contract. It's also known as a dungeon negotiation form. So after they sign that, they get on with the dungeon. The contract basically tells their no-nos, their yes-yeses, their safe words. Gotta have a safe word, right? And then the thing on the right. so the thing on the right is basically all the different types of things they'll do. And there's more than that, so. But, so the rest of the book, so the rest of the book, basically, she wants a traditional relationship. Christian Grey doesn't. He wants
Another kind.
another kind of relationship. So basically, they have sex a lot in the book, and after a while, she doesn't want to sign the contract that he wants her to sign in this relationship. She only wants to have, consensual, because the old school relationship, which he doesn't like. He doesn't like that at all. So basically, they go to where they break up. So they break up because they can't agree on one thing. So then
How does the book end?
the book ends, basically she doesn't sign the contract, and then they break up with each other. Then they're both depressed, yeah. So they're both depressed. Now, I wrote one for men, but, okay, so the quote that, so the
Do you
quote.
think we should use that quote?
Well, that was the only quote that really was.
Acceptable?
Okay, now, okay, so we'll do this one. We'll do this one, I guess.
Do
So.
you think we can do this? No.
No, not appropriate.
Let's go on.
Okay, so the conclusion. The conclusion. This is a book meant for women, not so much men.
Really?
Because,
Who's talking? It's your point of view.
what do you mean?
Not so much for men?
No, because, no. No, because it's talking about a woman's point of view, and when she describes things, it's like from a woman's point of view, so she describes him, it's just, okay, but there's also a lot of, there's lots of sex scenes, women scowl at men for, watching pornography, but reading it's totally fine, right?
It is?
I don't know, but a lot of women read this, yes, so I just assume, reading it's totally
So
fine.
is that a double standard?
Yes, double standard, because,
But
but reading
that's
it's
okay
fine,
today,
yeah.
because we don't have any standards at all, do we?
Well, no, I mean, a lot of women have read this, mainly women, some men, including myself, have read this book, but,
I have.
yeah, some guys have, but,
Okay.
and basically it's kind of like an X-rated Twilight,
That's your
because,
opinion, Jose.
because it seriously starts out like Twilight, and she wants him, he
Okay.
doesn't, dangerous, and this is the first part in the trilogy, and there's also a fourth book being written. So, that is my presentation. Want me to email this to you?
No. But I want you to go back to the last line.
The last line?
Last line. Find the last line?
I just have to go back.
The last line, yeah.
Last
Okay,
slide.
slide. No, I want the one that had the
The
handcuffs.
handcuffs? That was the first one.
Oh, okay. So that's
Yeah,
the
that's
one.
it, yeah.
Okay, well, obviously, this time, in all three classes, I've been very shocked, not really shocked, disappointed, I think. Okay, that, I don't know, has our society gone so far that I'm just shocked that we focus so much on this element. Okay, but we did do symbols. What, you chose it. Why would he use this symbol? Is it clean?
Was what clean?
Well, the implications of that symbol.
No.
No.